Hey, welcome to Therapy Matters. I'm Claudiu Manea and I'm the second greatest therapist in the world. Today we'll talk about why your childhood is more important than you think. And guess what? Therapists are really obsessed with getting to know a person's childhood. And why is that? Is it because they have some sort of weird fetish? Is it because they like to stir up things that are not really that important from the past? Well, turns out that not. Turns out that childhood, being your formative period, the being actually the first years of your life that you spend on this earth and in this world, have a tremendous impact on how you develop eventually, or have a tremendous impact on your ideas that you start to form about life, about people, about relationships, and so on and so forth. So it's really important. And not only that, but your childhood contains what is the potential for trauma that you've experienced and that you've lived through at an early age, that you carry with you for the not necessarily for the rest of your life, but for a great deal of your life. That is, until you eventually get to fixing that in some way or another. Because let me tell you right now, therapy is not the only way to fix things. It's not the only way to fix emotional trauma, things from your childhood, and so on. But it's something it's the one thing that I do. So naturally, I'm going to gravitate towards that solution. But just keep in mind that I'm biased as it is. So your childhood is more important than you think, especially in some situations. It's childhood is really important for the formation of any individual, but it is especially important if you've had some sort of traumatic event or traumatic situation that you've experienced early on in your life. And I'm just going to give you 3 examples. I could give 100 examples, but this video would be extremely long and you would get bored and I would get bored. So no, I'm not going to do that. But just to give you 3 examples of things that are really important and that surprisingly people discount as being not so bad because it was in the past, and why stir up things that are long past gone. First of all, if one of your parents was an alcoholic, that's a really important thing to consider when you are talking about somebody, and if that's you, that's a really important thing to consider when thinking about your life, the decisions that you made, and so on. Because having a parent that was an alcoholic has a great deal of influence on how you relate to other people, how much trust you put in other people, which is not that much, and even how much you trust yourself. The second situation would be if you've been subjected to domestic violence, either as a victim or as a spectator. So if it doesn't necessarily have to be that you are getting beaten up by your parents. It could be that your dad was beating your mom and you were witnessing all of that. So that's another major event that needs to be resolved and needs to be addressed in some way, because it is bound to have major implications on your life. And the third one is if you were abandoned as a child. And by abandoned, I don't mean that your parents went and put you out for adoption, or that they just left you somewhere and you've never heard from them again. Abandonment can also be a child who, from let's say a few weeks of age, and up until he gets to go to school, is raised by his grandparents or by another relative, and he only sees his parents from time to time, and so on. Or a child who has been put in some sort of school board, where he gets to live in a dormitory that's somehow a part of that school, and he only sees his parents on weekends, or even more rarely than that. So that's also abandonment. It doesn't need to be definitive or all the way abandonment for it to psychologically function as abandonment. So these are only 3 situations, but there are a whole lot of situations that can impact how you view things, and all of these things need to be discussed, need to be checked, and need their impact on your life right now needs to be assessed, because otherwise you are missing important connections, and you are missing important cues and even important solutions in the end. So that's why therapists are obsessed with getting to know a person's childhood, because it does contain a whole lot of clues as to why the person is struggling in her life, or in his or her life right now. So if you are considering therapy, or are in therapy, or whatever, don't discount childhood just because it seems to be long past gone and there's nothing you can do about it right now. There's nothing you can do about it to change the events, but there's a whole lot that you can do about the effects and the ramifications of all of that in your life. So that's all for now. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit subscribe, the bell button, notification, all of that, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.